ओम स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर् गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Dear devotees, today is Ashadha Purnima, also called the Guru Purnima. It is considered both the birth and Mahasamadhi day of Vyasa, the author of the Brahma Sutras. Vyasa is also the author of the Mahabharata, a part of which is the famous Bhagavad Gita. He is also the codifier of Vedas into 4 parts: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samaveda and Atharva Veda. Hence, he is considered the highest authority on the Vedic knowledge, the essence of which is Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Na Aparaha. This is also considered as the essence of Hinduism. Hence, all Hindus accept Vyasa as the greatest of Gurus, Gurunam Guru, and his birthday as Guru Purnima. We also celebrate, we means the Ramakrishna Sangha, Sangha members. We also celebrate Guru Purnima day as the birthday of all our Gurus in our Ramakrishna Mission tradition. The Upanishads describe the first manifestation of Guru as the creator Brahma himself. He was taught directly by the indwelling God himself. He had no external Guru, because he possessed the highest sattvic nature. Later on, a line of gurus were accepted. The Mundaka Upanishad says, Brahma taught Atharvan, his disciple, who taught Angir, who again taught Bharadwaja Satyavaha, who again taught Angira. Brahma Devanam Prathamas Sambhabhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta Sab Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha. Of the gods, Brahma the creator and the protector of the universe was self-born first. He gave out the knowledge of Brahman, the supreme reality, the knowledge of all knowledges, to his own eldest son Atharva. It is, we see in Mundaka Upanishad, Mantra 111. Thus, after Brahma, the knowledge was acquired through an external Guru, a line of teachers, which we call Guru Parampara, the tradition of Gurus. Later, a traditional set of rules to approach the Guru came into practice. This is called Guru Upasatti. Guru Upasatti is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita in the verse 434. Thus, Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. That is, know that means the knowledge of Brahman through prostration, inquiry and service to the Guru. The wise ones who have realized the truth will impart the knowledge to you. First, the disciple should show humility by his readiness to serve the Guru. This is indicated by his carrying of a bundle of faggots, samit. Then he should salute the Guru, pranipata, and put questions to him at the proper time, pariprashna. Many ask the question, is there a need of a physical guru? The answer is yes. All the great teachers of spirituality say that a physical guru is very necessary. Shankaracharya himself says that even a great scholar of scriptures should not venture to know Brahman without a proper physical guru. Shastrajnopi swatantrena brahmajnananveshanam na kuryat, says the Mundakopanishad, his Bhashya on Mundakopanishad on the mantra 1, 2, 12. Swami Yatishwaranandji, one of our vice presidents and a highly spiritual teacher, timely advises us that we should grow beyond the physical guru and should recognize the guru power behind him. God alone is the guru who conveys knowledge through the physical gurus. The qualities of the guru, as described by Shankaracharya in his famous Viveka Chudamani, are as follows. He should be the knower of essence of scriptures, Shrotriyaha, perfectly pure and holy, Avrijinaha, who is a renouncer of all desires for sense enjoyments, Akamahataha, knower of Brahman, Brahmavit, extremely merciful to the students, overlooking all faults of the students, Ahetuka Daya Sindhu, and friend of all who earnestly take refuge under him. Anamartanam Bandhu. Brahmachari Suresh, who later on became the well-known Swami Yatishwaranandaji, was a disciple of Swami Brahmanandaji. He was once fanning his guru. Suddenly, Swami Brahmanandaji told him, "Look, if your body and mind are given to the world, it destroys both. But if you give it to God, He will keep both of them excellent." This, Swami Yatishwaranandaji told, awakened his desire to become a monk. Thus, the student has to wait for this awakening. In 1917, Swami Yatishwaranandaji was initiated into sannyas, and Swami Brahmanandaji blessed him with an experience of a vast spiritual presence in which the world, guru and disciple were all merged into one. I narrate these instances to remind that such ideal gurus like Swami Brahmanandaji, etc., were present in the near past and in the holy land of ours, and even today they are present. It is the power of God that manifests through the Guru. God manifests His power in a pure, illumined and egoless human being in order to bestow peace and remove the sufferings of humans who are tormented by the bonds of ignorance. The power also manifests itself in ordinary human minds, but is not so much recognizable. But when it manifests through the great spiritual personalities like Sri Ramakrishna, it can be clearly seen that the power belongs to God and God alone. Though he, that is Sri Ramakrishna, never liked being addressed as a guru, Sri Ramakrishna happened to manifest this power of Guru almost always. He had the power to awaken spirituality in others by a mere wish or by a mere touch. Since the Lord removes ignorance and delusion from human minds through the divine power of the Guru, devotion to the Guru and devotion to God are one and the same. It is God who dwells in the Guru's body, accepts the devotee's worship and bestows grace on the devotee. The Guru's human form is the vessel for that divine power. As manifestations of God power, all Gurus are the same, but one should have love, faith and steadfast devotion to one's own Guru. Saint Kabir Das says, if Guru and Govinda appear together, to whom should I salute first? In reply, he himself writes, certainly your Guru who showed Govinda to you. Guru Govinda dovu kade kaake lagum pai. Bolihari Guru apne Govinda diyo batai. By accepting Sri Ramakrishna as our ideal, support and guide, we would have already traversed half the way in our spiritual lives. All that we need to do further is to hold on to our love for and faith in Him. We have to stick to the instructions of our physical gurus and lead a life centered around Sri Ramakrishna. In short, we are to keep away from the worldliness and keep moving towards Sri Ramakrishna, whom we have accepted as our goal in life. Sincerity is the only motivating force in all our actions. Neither do we need to know high philosophy nor engage in elaborate rituals. We don't need to do strenuous austerities either or adopt any ascetic way of life. By the strength of sheer sincerity and longing for God, we can reach the highest. Surrendering to God's will and waiting for His grace is all that we need to do. Spiritual life has been rendered that simple now by Sri Ramakrishna. In the Ramakrishna Sangha tradition, all who follow Sri Ramakrishna's teachings are considered as devotees of Sri Ramakrishna. When they accept some Guru from the Ramakrishna tradition, they are called disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Irrespective of whoever was the physical Guru, the disciple is always called Sri Ramakrishna's disciple. Now, how to check our progress in our spiritual life? Vedanta tells us that our progress is in proportion to the extent we know ourselves as the divine Atman and not mere bodies. This is the best test. Our progress is also in proportion to the extent we feel God's immediate presence in our hearts and thoughts. It also depends on how much we are growing in our truthfulness, straightforwardness and goodness, etc. towards others. How much we are able to see divinity in all men and women and treat them as our spiritual brothers, sisters, fathers and mothers. How much we are becoming selfless and feel that we should sacrifice and serve the weak and the needy in our society. Our taste for spiritual practices should grow with our spiritual progress. Selfishness is the cause of all immorality and it should be effaced only with constant vigilance. Once, one of the sevaks of Swami Brahmananda left his guru in the care of another brother monk who was also a sevak and went away for darshan of Lord Jagannath in the temple at Puri. Swami Brahmananda admonished this former brahmachari who left him in another brahmachari's care and called it is pure selfishness. Spiritual teachers tell us that as we grow in spiritual life, Guru becomes our indweller, Antaryami. In course of time, we receive proper instructions at the proper time through him in our hearts. Of course, it is Sri Ramakrishna himself who is the Supreme Guru for this age, who helps us in our progress. Swami Vivekananda sang in his famous prayer song, Sampada Tava Sripada Bhava Goshpada Varyathai. That means your holy feet makes the ocean of samsara look like a small hoof mark. Again, through his grace, the difficult path of spiritual ascent is made easy, says the Holy Mother, Sri Sharda Devi. Sri Ramakrishna expressed the whole of spiritual life as loving God through sincere prayers, singing his names and joining the company of the holy. Through these simple observances, one overcomes the attraction to sense enjoyments and greed for wealth, Kamini and Kanchana. Then we can constantly remember the goal of our life as realization of God and nothing other than that. Some may ask, then what about our economic and social activities to make our life comfortable? Sri Ramakrishna advises us that we should also do that. All our duties in the social and economic fields, but never to give up the moral and the spiritual practices. We are blessed thus on this holy day of Guru Purnima that we are in this world when we are so near to Sri Ramakrishna in time, who lived just 130 years back in time. Sri Ramakrishna's Mahasamadhi was in just 1886. Along with him were the Divine Mother, Sri Sharda Devi, and the world teacher, Swami Vivekananda, and a galaxy of great saints who were the direct disciples of the Master. Following this, we had other saints also. Their lives and words should awaken us from our deep slumber of worldliness. We should arise and become alert to practice the spiritual practices according to their teachings. Thus we can reach the real goal of human life, the realization of God, who is of the nature of infinite life, infinite knowledge, and infinite bliss. Last but not the least, may we learn from this raging corona pandemic that is troubling the whole world that this will also pass away. All this turmoil will culminate in a much more peaceful life on our planet. The devotees feel that God is going to bring a new and better age of simple living, high thinking, and an all-round joy based on faith, devotion, and mutual help. My good wishes to all for their progress in spiritual as well as in their temporal life. May the blessings of Sri Ramakrishna be upon all of us. May we all come out of this corona pandemic wiser and enter into a new age of divinity, love, oneness and service. Jai Ram Krishna. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.